All right. Welcome, everyone. This is another Tree Scout members call. I want to thank you for being here. I'm here with Mr. Joey Smith and his beautiful wife, Robin, and we are at Blueberry Hill Apiary. And this actually, they are our neighbors, and they're right around the corner. And I've been driving by, seeing honey for sale for years. I finally came to check it out and started talking with Joey. Realized that we need to get him on the members call. So Joey is the president of the Oconee County Beekeepers Association. Was the Beekeeper of the Year in 2024, right? And retired from Duke Energy. Am I missing anything?
That's my life story.
So we're going to do a Q&A style demonstration here, and feel free if you're behind the camera to ask any questions. Now, this is a members call, so if you're watching us on YouTube and you're not yet a member, we'd like to invite you to go to treehousetradeschool.com/memberships and join the membership so you can get direct access to all of these events. You can have access to our entire training module online, all the videos. Those videos are addressing all 7 layers of resilience. And you also have discounted tickets to in-person events and retreats. And you have access to an amazing community of instructors and other like-minded tree scouts who are trying to be the best versions of themselves so that we can leave a lasting positive impact on our planet. So I'm going to switch over and get behind the camera, and we're going to let Joey take it from here. All right. Wait, let me switch the camera because I'm still looking at me. Although I will say it looks pretty good. There we go. That looks even better. All right. Joey. No, I'm going to hold it because I like to move. I like a little bit of movement, and it kind of keeps everybody a little more excited. So, do you want to start with questions, or you want to start with?
I can give a brief introduction.
Go for it.
I've always been a gardener. Gosh, I was gardening with my dad when I was 3 years old, and I've done gardened ever since. And some 20, 21, 22 years ago, I thought, I could use a pollinator to help my garden and my orchard. And I wasn't afraid of bees, so I got a couple beehives. They died within a year. Next year, I got a couple more beehives. They died within a year. The third year, I took the South Carolina beekeeping course. It's a 6-week course. And I've had bees ever since then. My garden and my orchard have shrunk dramatically because I've gone from 2 hives to about 100 hives. And so now when it's time that I should be working the orchard or working the garden, I'm spending my time in the bees. So I still do. I've got a greenhouse. I've still got some orchard plants, primarily blueberries, things that are real easy to take care of. And I do raised beds for my garden. But I spend the majority of my time working honeybees.
So, what you said your bees died. What did you learn? What caused them to die? And what did you learn from that?
What I learned going to classes is in the late 19th, mite, the varroa destructor, most people call it varroa mites, was accidentally imported in the United States. It has since covered the entire United States and Canada, and left untreated, the hive's not going to survive more than a year. The varroa will take over. So you have to manage for varroa mites. And there's a number of treatments or ways to manage. The best practice I found is to mix it up. Don't rely on one management option. Mix it up.
How do you spell varroa? Is it
Yeah.
varroa? So, what are some of the things you've done to manage that? You said to mix it up, like don't do the same thing over and over.
Yeah. So one thing that is really effective is oxalic acid, which is wood bleach. But you heat that acid up till it vaporizes, and it looks like smoke going into the colony. It doesn't hurt the bees, but it will kill the varroa that are on the bees. The downside, and every treatment has upsides and downsides. The downside to the varroa treatment, to the oxalic acid treatment, is it doesn't kill the mites that are inside the brood. When bees lay an egg, it's an egg for 3 days. The 4th day, it turns into a larva, and I think it's the 8th day, the bees cover that with wax. They encapsulate it, and there it turns into a newborn bee after 21 days. The mites reproduce inside the capped brood. And so putting oxalic acid on doesn't penetrate the capped brood. Those mites aren't killed. So in the wintertime, late December, early January, the bees generally go broodless for a short period of time. That's the best time to hit them with the oxalic acid. It'll kill 90% of the varroa. And so you're starting spring out with a relatively clean. There's other treatments. Each one, like I said, has its positives and its negatives. Thymol, the oil from a pine, the herb pine plant, is an effective treatment. There's the thymol will cause the queen generally to stop laying, and that's not a good thing, especially in the spring when you're a healthy queen will lay about 2,000 eggs a day, and you don't want to interrupt that. So you got to get the timing right. Generally, after honey flow, to do the thymol. There are harder chemicals, and that's what folks relied on for several decades. Now the mites have developed resistance to those hard chemicals. And so you'll see on the news the commercial beekeepers this past year, commercial beekeepers lost 60 to 70% of their colonies. And
So why not?
and yeah, you know, those guys have 20, 30,000 colonies, and to lose 60% of that is millions of dollars. But it's generally considered that the mites have built up such a resistance to the treatments that those commercial guys have been relying on for years that they're going to have to find different ways to treat.
Is that so? Honeybees in a natural setting, like, is that affecting them? I would imagine it's affecting them too.
It is, as a matter of fact, say 10 years ago, 5 years ago, you just didn't see any honeybees in natural settings anymore. They just were disappearing. Basically, all the honeybees were managed by man. Now, just in the last year or so, they're starting to see more honeybees in natural settings. So what they think, what I hope is honeybees are starting to more or less build up resistance to the mite. One of the things that they're doing, I said the mites reproduce inside the capped cells. The honeybees are learning to uncap those cells, pull those larvae out, get rid of the mites. And so that's called the hygienic behavior. But that's a hope that eventually, we're not there yet, but that eventually the honeybees will learn to manage the mites.
Of the what?
Maybe hornets.
Oh yeah.
Hornets us now. They're in York County.
Yeah. The Japanese hornets? Is that something different?
So
brand new.
One of the things that made big news 2 years ago was the murder hornet in the state of Washington.
Okay.
It didn't overwinter. It didn't. So that's no longer an issue. But they just here in Georgia, down at the coast, found a yellow-legged hornet, and it was brought in, obviously, on a ship from somewhere. And it just reproduced through southern Georgia and now moved into the coast of South Carolina. This summer, Clemson killed, I think it was 65 nests of the yellow-legged hornets in Beekeepers, South Carolina.
They can wipe us out.
And then 2 months ago, they found a nest in York County.
Well, so I'm, other than the obvious, delicious honey, I'm just asking the dumb question here. What's the importance of honeybees in our ecological system? I mean, are there other pollinators that would take their place, or?
Yeah, there's other pollinators that are better suited to pollinate. For example, blueberry. The bumblebee is a superb pollinator for blueberry.
Is that the difference between a bumblebee and a carpenter bee, right? They're the same? Okay.
The thing that honeybees do to make up for their not being as good a pollinator is no other bee has the population honeybees have. So one strong hive of honeybees is 60 to 80,000 bees. No other bee has that size colony.
Okay.
So they pollinate just in sheer mass.
I've seen, I've had bees a couple times at the Seneca treehouse. And we built a top bar hive, which was like our first and experimental, and didn't quite do the set it up right. Um, and then we had what's the other one called? The Langstroth or Langstrom?
Langstroth is the standard.
Is it Langstroth with a TH? Okay, Langstroth. I had one of those, and the bees. Now my neighbors had bees in their shed, and I went and got the bees out of the shed and put them in the hive. And then I didn't seal it all up right, and they moved back out of the hive into the shed. It seems like they preferred that, and I run into that situation before where someone wants to get the bees out of their house, and we've opened up the house, and they have this massive. It looks just so resilient inside this house, but then we put them in the hive, and it seems to have more issues. Is there a reason for that, or do they have like a better system set up, or? And I could be that's just one or a couple of observations. I don't know if that's actually a thing or not.
They moved into a house. They basically set up there. They've got their pheromones in there. Take them out of that. Their pheromones are still back there in that house. If the queen will start running, you start trying to get the bees out of there, and she's probably going to go hide in there somewhere. So if you get all those bees out, don't have the queen, they're not going to stay.
Oh yeah.
If you do have the queen, they may prefer going back to where they were, and they may abscond.
They can make a new queen. Can they make a new queen without the queen, or is the queen required in order to make the
They
queen?
can making queens, and that's something I've been working on. Is rat larva to make queens.
That's not,
Ideal queen 4 days. Like I said, the queen will lay an egg. It'll be an egg for 3 days. The 4th day, they'll larva. That day, that 4th day, is when you want to get that larva to turn into a queen cell. And the bees, if the bees are queenless, if they've got larva, they will make some of those queens. It really needs to be the right age to be a decent queen. But the thing you'll see most often in the spring is when the bees swarm, they will go in and they will make queen cells, and they may make 20 queen cells in one hive. First one that hatches out will go kill the rest of them. And then when they swarm, the old queen leaves with 3/4 of the bees that are in there.
wow.
And the new queen stays. Is normally how they do that. But yeah, they'll make it.
And do they do that by giving the larva royal jelly? Is that what they do?
They give royal jelly to all of the first couple of days.
Okay.
But in order to make a queen, they continue giving it royal jelly. Queen takes 16 days for queen from egg to get
Fascinating. So I'm thinking, if y'all have any questions, y'all have any questions too, you can ask questions too, or Jenny. I'm just like, I got a lot more, but we'll leave some space. You know?
The, the, the reason like I said I put some hives in just for pollination, but I kept them going from 2 hives to 100 hives because I enjoy learning. I've always enjoyed learning. I've got a friend that is a commercial beekeeper, and he's been keeping bees for 44 years. And he said that he learned something every day from the bees. And that's what put me is there's always something to learn.
How do you go about getting you to set up bees on your farm? Like if we wanted to have, I like how Robin says payment of money. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought I would never go out. Everyone yards that I have, they, the farmers that come here are saying, "Would you not put bees on that property?"
You'd be saying the year for this.
Yeah. Well, that's because I've had bees a couple times, and I've gone out and bought the what do you call it when you buy the bees?
Package,
Yeah.
just a thing of 3 pounds of bees.
Okay.
Or a
New.
which is the small 8 foot 5 frame.
Oh.
That's everything.
Oh, okay. So the nuke is like set up and ready to go. Okay. So when you're just buying the bees in the cage,
You're starting that. Don't. I it, but lay clean, you got brood, you got comb, you got everything that hive needs. A package is nothing but 3 pounds of bees and a queen. And now they're going to have to make comb and draw it out, which takes a little while. It takes some resources before that queen can lay the first egg.
okay, I gotcha. So if you're just starting to do bees, never done it before, you recommend definitely getting the nuke, which
The first thing is go to take class.
it takes a class. Yeah, good deal. And that class can be taken at the Beekeepers Association?
Yeah, but Madison Beekeeping Club, they offer their class.
Okay, you sign up.
County Bee Club, they offer our fall.
Okay.
It's a standard, it's curriculum is put out by the state. It's a 6-week class. And it's a test at the end. You pass that test, and then you go do a hands-on test. Then you become a South Carolina State certified beekeeper. And that's step 1 to become a master beekeeper.
Okay. So, and then you said it's a 6-week. I'm assuming that's not like, okay, one day. It's like a full day or just a couple hours class? Okay. So total hour wise, so like 12 hours or so roughly. That's not bad. Yeah. So 8 to 12 hours evening. Is that, okay. So you go there. They have it online too, or you have to be there? Okay. Old school, man. I love it. You actually have to be there. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. One of the challenges that we run into sometimes, people are hands-on learners and they try to get online and learn. And we're trying to come up with more ways and suggestions for them to learn online and like get the hands-on too, like, going to Lowe's or going to in this situation, they're watching a video. If you're watching a video online, you can go to an apiary and probably see some things and smell the wax and things like that, right? So what makes An apiary, like what's the definition of an apiary? Or what is an apiary in layman's terms? You don't have to have the exact definition.
Collection of bees.
Beehives.
So just a beehive, a singular beehive is an apiary? Or is it like
I'm not
but, yeah,
thinking
yeah,
Right.
a collection of beehives. There we go.
thank you.
You're not an apiarist. I'm just kidding. I don't know what that, unless you have multiple. Yeah. So what do you call yourself then as someone who has an apiary? Is there a name?
Beekeeper.
Just a beekeeper? Beekeeper. There we go. Simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, actually, we're living in God's image and trying to.
Yeah, these scriptures up there.
Pleasant or honeycomb, sweet to the soul, health to the bone. Proverbs 16:24.
So when my mother, it was before I can remember, so I was a little kid. Mother had some kind of problem with her legs. Went to a specialist, Duke Hospital, and the doctor did X-rays and everything, and told her that we need to go ahead and get the house prepared for a wheelchair ramp, so forth and so on, that she wouldn't be able to walk much longer. My mother, as was always, a very religious, God-fearing woman. She did her devotions and read her Bible every day. When she got home from the day she got home from the hospital, she was doing her devotions, and it just so happened that she opened the Bible to Psalms, that passage, and she took it literally.
Over Daddy.
And went and got honey. Now, when I was a kid and back at that time, all the honey that bought had comb in it. They didn't have the fancy extractors that they have now. It all had comb in it. So she went to a beekeeper and got honey with comb. She started eating comb every day. And I don't know if it was 6 months or a year, whatever, whenever the follow-up visit was. She went back to the same hospital, to the same doctor. He did the same test. And he said, if I hadn't done it myself, I would not believe it. You're fine. No problem. So she continued to eat honeycomb every day of her life. In her 80s, she had a stroke. She had to be moved to basically a retirement home. She was the only one there that didn't use a walker or a wheelchair or have any. And she would get out and walk a couple miles every day. She ate her honeycomb. So
Yep. We tried to get her.
That's the reason that verse is there.
I'm not eating a cake. What do you think you're eating? She wouldn't believe us.
So, oh man,
I'll eat. I like comb. I don't necessarily take it for any health reasons. I don't think it hurt me.
Every time he'd get hurt, though, he'd be like, "You're eating your honeycomb."
I do take my beef home just because I've had so many customers talk about how good it is for you. But I also 19 years ago, I was in an accident and broke my neck and broke my back in 3 places. And I have back pains. It's my mid back. It's not operable. There's nothing they can do for it. I sting myself. And when my back pain starts acting up, I sting myself a couple times a day for about 3 days in a row. And it subsides.
You do it right in the back? Yeah, I've seen people doing that, yeah.
They give it to MS patients too with multiple symptoms.
That same friend of mine that has been beekeeping for 44 years, several, 5, 6 years ago, he had stings. And he got one of his employees to sting him, he said 18 times a day. And the sting was going away within a week.
What do you have a name for that process? So we're actually developing a health and wellness curriculum right now too. And
it's a natural steroid.
Natural steroid? Okay.
Yeah, there is a name for it.
Is there a natural?
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't there a natural peroxide?
Yes, yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yes.
That's awesome.
That's well, you can put honey on a wound, or
I get blisters on my tongue. On it.
and you can also use honey, and if you don't have or don't want to use rooting hormone when you're rooting plants, and use honey.
Oh, really? Yeah, that makes sense. It's so it's an antibiotic and probably an antifungal, microbial. Yeah, that makes total sense. Man,
It's a wonder drug. And the bees are just amazing.
Yeah, I love it.
So smart.
I always
Know if they need bees to bring in the water, they know.
It's a little easier to think about a beehive as being a superorganism versus a collection of bees. They act more like one superorganism.
I love when you if you tap on the hive, the tone, the whole hive changes. You know, I don't know if you guys experienced this, but we have. This is not really related to bees, but just insects in general. We had mosquitoes out, or a bunch of gnats and mosquitoes out flying around. Probably mostly like no-see-ums and things, so real small. And they'll be in the summertime buzzing so loud, and you can snap your fingers, and the tone of all of them changes with the slightest little noise. They all do it.
We walk around.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Golden. It smells like old gym socks.
Old gym socks. All right.
Now something else is neat with the bees. I try not to open hive unless there's some reason that you absolutely have to when it's cold weather. But if you do open a hive and it's relatively cool out, you'll feel the heat coming up.
Mm-hmm. And you don't.
Today, when the hive was just barely reached freezing, the hives that have brood in them, they kept the hive right at 93 degrees, plus or minus a degree, all day, all night. Tonight, it's supposed to be in the teens. It'll be 93 degrees.
I'm thinking of a way to heat your house. If you can have you have beehive in the outside where they can access from outside, but you have them built into the walls. You could be heating your house with beehives, guys.
These days at a steady temperature.
Now, you don't want to open them up in the wintertime, though.
No, you don't want. I mean, they're working hard to create that heat to keep the queen and the brood alive, and so opening it up, you're defeating their purpose. So
Yeah.
you really don't want to. There are times when you have to, and you want to try and do it when it's not too windy, when the sun's out, and you want to have a plan and know off the top, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to put the top back on.
Okay.
You don't want to leave it
This
open.
is where we get honeydew list done. When we don't touch our bees this time of year. We
No.
winter projects.
No pun intended, huh? Honeydew.
No.
When you're not doing
Yeah.
the honey, you're getting the
Bee
honeydew.
busy certain times.
So I got a question on eating the comb. I usually like snack on it and then spit it out, but it's
You're
good.
supposed to eat it.
Supposed to eat it. Okay. My boys love it, man. They're always asking me to
You would
get.
eat it on a small piece
By
of
the time you spit it out, it's tasteless.
Yeah.
But I just love.
Yeah.
You know, I'm good now. Working the bees, I'm straightening work home out. Talking about bees.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right, I'm thinking the components, and maybe this is another class. Maybe we can do this as a separate whole thing. But I'd love to look at all of the components because I know there's the different types of bees, and then you have the wax that's being produced and made, and then you have the bee pollen, and you have the royal jelly, and some people consume the royal jelly too, right?
We don't.
Seems like a kind of a start. Yeah,
People ask me.
yeah, yeah. Are those all the components though that they kind of the products and that they
Yes, different things. Really good. The flame, the work. Certain situations, those workers can't lay eggs. Those eggs aren't fertile. They will be males. They will be drones. So you got the males, which are the drones. You've got the females, which are the workers, and then you got the one.
Okay.
And a queen can live 2 or 3 years. As a rule, we'd like to replace that queen about once a year. I have gone 2 years with it, just so you got the healthiest and most productive queen. Workers in the wintertime, workers can live, and it depends on where you're at. If you're up north, a worker have 6 months. Down here, 2 months. In the spring and summer, worker bee will live maybe 6 weeks. They work this up to do.
Wow.
And the drones are only good for 1 month, and that's mating with the queen.
Oh wow.
You have drone congregation areas. Lord knows how this works, but the drones all know where these congregation areas are. They will fly to them. When a queen hatches out, she gets a week to 10 days old, or she's able to fly. She will fly into that congregation area and she will mate multiple times. When the drone mates, he will fall to the ground and die. He's done it.
Purpose is
Like a spider.
wow.
And,
Not a whole lot different than humans.
a queen will, there's a name for colony, there's a name for it, where the queen mates with multiple drones, that she's got DNA from
Yeah, that makes sense.
from multiple places. The drones, the workers have to feed the drones, so the drones don't go out and get their own food. The only thing they do
Wow.
is if they get
Dang.
a chance to mate with the queen, that's it. So in the wintertime, in the fall, late fall, the workers will start kicking the drones out the hive. Because they don't want the drones to be consuming the feed that they have stored for the winter.
Yeah.
So this time of year, there won't be any drones.
All right, ladies, don't get any ideas here, okay?
She only makes once, and she's
And
done.
that's it. You'll make the one time,
Yeah.
however many drones, and then that's
One time.
it's done for her life.
Wow.
So yeah, this time of year there are no drones in the hive. March, round about March, they will start creating drone cells and get ready.
Do they know what to lay?
In nature, early spring is when they're going to swarm and start a new colony because flowers will start. They will be able to have enough food to support a new colony. So early spring, late winter, they'll start making drones like with new plants.
Those early, yeah, go ahead.
I was just wondering if there was anything that you are dying to share with people who are not familiar with keeping. Is there anything people must know?
I'm not sure how well this relates to the question, but I'll give you another. When I was preschool, maybe 4 years old, maybe 5, many decades ago, me and a friend would go out in the yard, and there were always honeybees out there, and we would try to kill them. And the object is try to kill them without them stinging. Well, of course, we're getting stung pretty often. One of our mothers, I don't know if it was my mother or his mother, complained to the beekeeper that lived in that area. I didn't know there was a beekeeper there, but they complained that, hey, your bees are stinging our kids. So the beekeeper asked that we come over and he was going to show us the bees. And so went over there, was absolutely amazed when he opened the hive to see 60,000 bees in there. And a bee lands on you and crawls around. And he says, no, the bee stings you, it's going to die. They don't want to sting you. It's their last means of defense. It's their only means of defense. And so from that day on, I never on purpose killed a bee. And I'd say I was either 4 or 5 times. And I always thought that they were about the neatest creature I'd ever seen. And one landed on me. I sit there and watch it, and I was never, from that point on, never afraid of a bee.
But don't be mean. Don't be afraid. Right.
Run around a tree.
Yeah. Thank you. First of all, Mara, thank you for that question.
Be calm.
Yeah. And you know what? That is really a big part of the inspiration for Treehouse Trade School is to have a place where people of all ages can get in and access, can go see. Imagine if all of the kids in the community could come and see that, and they wouldn't be afraid. And I think one of the things too, what are your thoughts on mowing the grass in the early? I'm always don't.
No, that's the early flowers. It's the dandelions and we don't cut the beginning.
Purple dead nettle
Yeah.
and chickweed.
Purple dead nettle. It's like purple dead nettle. Henbit.
Yeah.
Those are actually, I'm seeing those already flowers. Oh, wow.
I see dandelions crowded down.
So I
Yeah.
try
Not
to
dandelions.
let those go as long as I can for us.
Yellow bells.
Yeah. Yeah. So for anyone out there who sees that those things growing and feel the need to cut, just think about the bees, right? Yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
What frequency of a honey is it?
It is documented.
Mm.
I read somewhere it's 520 for which is the same frequency as a heart.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
I know if you're being chased, you skeleton need to run around the tree.
I got,
They don't go in direction.
oh yeah. What?
Told me, run around the tree.
So he can get away.
Shampoo.
Oh.
And so most females that are out there, they go after the girls. Shampoo. And I get, that's the only time I run is when I'm being chased by them.
It's, leaves the alarm. The first thing to do is scrape that stinger out. With the stinger. And then, if you can, leave there because other things are going to.
One got up in his veil and hit him right here
Oh man.
and blackened his whole eye. And he had a doctor's appointment the next day.
Oh
And I
no.
was like, yep, I had to sock him. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, it was black and blue. I mean, it was amazing.
I had one time we went to get some bees out of a house, and one of the guys that went with us was like, no matter what you do, you just stay calm. Like you always stay calm. And then all of a sudden, that same guy was running down the road as fast as he possibly could, screaming, and we were like, "Hey, what happened about staying calm?"
Phone calls and people stopping by to get hives, you know, come look and see in their house and stuff. But we've had so much mess of trying to do that. I don't like them to do that no more. It's too messy. And they don't stay here to be. So you're doing all that for nothing. So I don't like, no, we got names. If you ever get a phone call that somebody, you can't get the bees, we've got several names in Coney County that will go do this for them. Not cheap, but it's better than your house ruining.
What if somebody wanted to get started with bees and get the nuke? What's the cost? Like, what's about the cost of getting a nuke and setting it up after they're taking the classes?
You're gonna need at least a jack and a veil. A smoker. You're gonna need a half tool. Then you're going to need a way to treat the bees for mites. Depending on which treatment you use. Depending on which treatment you use, that can be $100, it can be $1,000. The veil and jacket, maybe $200. A good smoker is about $100. The nuke is 200, between 200 and 250. You'll need, they can't stay in that nuke long, they're going to be building up, so you'll need a full size hive. I build my own, so I really don't know what the price of those are, but yes, full box, frames and everything. I don't know, maybe $150.
So a couple $1,000.
About
If you don't want one hive, you want to.
at least the reason is if you have one hive, you've got one queen. Anything happens to that queen, you're out of business.
Okay.
If you got two hives, you got two queens. If something happens to one of them, you still got brood from the other one. You take to the queenless hive and see if they can make a queen.
Okay.
and then three's even better. Now you got three queens, so you got a little bit more options.
Jenny's asking how many hours a week do you need to spend, and I think that was the only question.
It depends on the time of year. This time of year, really nothing unless you're wanting to. This is a good time to be making up your boxes or your frames. You don't really need to be going into the hives at all.
On a pretty day, you treated them.
In spring, start getting more work for, I don't know, for me, spring, summer, and fall, 100 hives is probably averages out to be about a 40-hour-a-week job.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
A couple of hives. I don't know, maybe an hour a week.
Okay. Now, and then if someone wanted you or someone else to come set up, they don't want to make all the investment, but they do want to have bees, like we would like to have bees, mainly for educational purposes, but your bees probably come down to our place. How far do they go? Like a couple of miles?
Generally, it's about 2 months.
Okay. I think we're probably close to that as the bee flies. But if somebody wanted you to come out, are you still doing more? I know Robin said that you weren't allowed to have any more, but
Well, we're doing the equestrian.
Setting up a new yard this spring.
We got
My criteria for a yard is, one, that I can get my truck to wherever the house is. And two, that I can put up to 20 hives in any spot.
okay.
And that's just because you get all the equipment on the truck, get pressed out, get to a yard, you want to make it worth your while. Do all that for a couple of hives, and have to go to a different yard.
So maybe as a learning center on a half acre with a whole bunch of kids running around might not be the best spot, huh? Because
They like water. They like water.
Do you know folks that run Easter Farm?
yeah,
Talk to them. I've got somebody that's going to talk to them about me putting hives out there, but they really need the pollinators. In the past, they had some hives out there.
yeah.
For show and tell. Talk to them about could you use them?
Yeah, that'd be good.
If you want to coordinate with me, since we're close,
Yeah.
you can come over here. We can work these out.
I've got it for help.
Okay. Oh yeah, great. Cool. I actually have an outfit, and a smoker, and a couple other tools and stuff like that. But that's just for me, as I said, if there's any time requirement other than harvesting, and even that we're pretty at this point we're kind of limited. But eventually, we will be building a brick and mortar trade school on a large piece of land somewhere in the upstate of South Carolina, and we'll definitely have you come out there to do that. But as we're closing this up, I wanted to see if you could show us some of your products, because I know I'm going to buy some. And if anybody, Jenny's watching live, and if anybody is watching this after the fact and you want to get some, we are right next door. So we're happy to come get them for you.
All right. So as far as honey goes, I don't have many of these. This is honey with the comb.
Definitely going to get one of those.
And then all this year's honey and pollen.
Yeah.
And
Little bears. What? Lemon.
you know how honey will crystallize when it starts getting old.
Yeah.
This is doing that on purpose in a controlled process. This is it's called creamed honey, and it takes anywhere from 2 to 3 months to make a batch of this. But this is creamed honey.
You got different. You got lemon, lime, blueberry, orange.
So yeah, what this is just pure honey cream, and then I've got lemon, blueberry, orange, apple cinnamon, and cinnamon.
Yeah, buddy.
And this is all our honey, so if it melts down, you melt it, it turns back into our honey.
Okay.
Pure honey, with now that has flavors. We cross flavors. It's all organic. This is just fillers. We don't really make any of that. I like giving the kids when they come in and they get honey sticks.
He's like,
Got honey in the center of them. Good at church when you start talking.
Jenny's smiling. Oh, look at that. Isn't this beautiful?
Get one of these.
Oh, the big one, the cow. we do need to get one of those.
We tried the pumps. We don't like them.
And then it's had pure-based cinnamon. That's well.
Good for you.
Mm.
Mine's the one on the end.
Well, it
The
depends.
heavy one.
It depends. If you're wanting to burn them, please down here on this end burn the best. But if you want to look at them,
Oh yeah.
then I like the best.
Oh, I love the lighthouse. That's cool.
Pretty bad. So it's got a deer on one side and a bear.
Yes.
But, oh, I asked, like, we got enough
Yeah,
candles.
these
The-
all burn great.
Yeah.
This would burn good too.
that's the- 30,000. I think it's better.
So, and then what would you just make your own candles with this?
Well,
There's just people
and
waterproofing
30.
clothes.
Oh, okay.
Sure, how-
You don't want the wax pots to put
People
for,
use that to do.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
And then a lot of people use it to make soaps and lip balms and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
And it's somebody 30 of them. It's probably last week.
Something's-
They were using it for.
Yeah. Oh, no, they're great.
That's awesome.
They're in our big club too.
Wow. Jenny, you want anything from here while I'm snagging stuff? I'm gonna get you something anyways.
He's in here, we get.
Well, yes, but I want to come back because I want to get some of these things for my retreat guest.
Ah, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'll bring you by here.
Hmm.
Well, we have class.
Fabulous. Yeah, I'm gonna get some candles and some honey, and the boys have been asking for honeycomb. So I'm gonna collect a few things here. Do you have any other questions, Jenny?
I don't know. That was my one. Just wondering how long it takes, how long you want to dedicate. So
Yes.
Awesome. Well, with all that, we will sign out. Say thank you, Mr. Joey. Appreciate. And y'all look up Blueberry Hill Apiary. Come visit. Support your local beekeeper. Thank you.
so it's on camera.
Oh yeah, let's look at this real quick.
Screenshot this, will you?
Five.
Here we go. Awesome.
Get it?
Got it. All right. Well, folks, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Hope y'all have a blessed and wonderful week. And peace out, Tree Scouts.